Do you want to know what is really like you to study at the University of East Anglia and how international programs can lead to global career opportunities? Then stay with us. Welcome to our podcast, University of East Anglia, from international study to global careers. My name is Hugo Bustamante. I'm recruitment manager for global studies. And don't forget that we are an educational agency which helps you to apply to different destinations. If you want to study in the UK, in Germany, in Spain, in France, in Italy, in Malta, and many other destinations, you just have to contact us. You have here our WhatsApp number, our email address, and you can find us and follow us in our social media as Global Studies UK. Follow us in Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, and you will know more about the different options to study abroad that we can offer you. But now it is a pleasure for me to present you to Jessica Garrity. She's representing University of East Anglia International Studies Center. Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Hi, Hugo. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. And it is a pleasure to be able to show today the different programs that the university can offer the students. And everybody who is listening, please, if you have questions, you can write them to us, and Jessica will help us to answer. Please, Jessica, go ahead and explain us about the different options that University of East Anglia can offer us now.
Of course. Thank you so much, Hugo. Hola a todos. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. As we mentioned, my name is Jess. I work at the University of East Anglia International Studies Centre, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about UEA and what kind of options you have if you choose to come and study with us. Next slide, please, Hugo. Thank you. So just a little bit about rankings first. We get quite often asked about our rankings and what our specialties are. So you can see on the slide that we are 26th in the UK out of over 100 universities. This was in 2026, so that's for this year. We also have a lot of focus on our research as well. So the title of this presentation is University of East Anglia from Study to Global Careers. And if you are very research minded, you may find that you fit in really well at a university like the University of East Anglia. We're also top 300 globally, so think about all of those universities in every country in the world, and we have found ourselves in the top 300. Next slide, please, Hugo. Thank you. So I'm going to take you through now the different faculties that we have at the University of East Anglia. So these are the different schools that we have. So keep an ear out for your favourite subject. And then after we've covered each of the schools, I'll tell you a little bit more about Norwich, which is where the university is based. So we're going to start with health, life sciences and pharmacy. Next slide, please. So the School of Health and Life Sciences, this includes things like medicine, nursing, pharmacy, physiotherapy, speech and language therapy, occupational health, biological sciences, biomedical sciences. It is one of the biggest schools at the University of East Anglia, and it's also one of the highest ranked at the university. So we're top 125 in the world for life sciences. So your biomedical, biochemistry, ecology and conservation, that's where we are really, really kind of top class. You can see in the subject rankings, like things for paramedic science, counselling and psychotherapy, speech and language therapy, we are consistently ranking top 10, top 5, or even number 1 in the whole of the UK. So if you find yourself thinking about a career in nursing, in medicine, in physio, in those health sciences, or in research for things like food science, medication, developments of vaccines, you can really see yourself at the University of East Anglia. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So why do we have those really high rankings? What is it that makes the University of East Anglia special when compared to other universities in the UK or in the world? So the first thing are the facilities on site. So these are the labs that are available to you when you're studying with us. These are the chemistry labs, they're the pharmacy lab spaces, the access to research facilities as well. These are industry facilities. So they are the same as you would experience when you go to work. They are your kind of medication synthesis. So when you're actually making medications or you're doing those kinds of high risk experimentation, that's the kind of facility you have access to. So that's while you're studying. Then we look at what you do during your studies for employment. You can do placements at research labs within the National Health Service if you want to be a nurse or a physiotherapist or a pharmacist. We pair with the National Health Service in the UK for you to go out and practice your skills with real patients, with real professionals, and that's all included within your course. So there's your employability in the course. After you graduate, you will have access to an incredible network of health science companies that are actually on the same site as the university. So the picture you can see on the very far right of the screen is a picture of Norwich Research Park. This is a very large multi-facility park where there is food research, there is medication research, there is research into technology as well. So if you're interested in computing, which we'll talk about in a little while, this is another site where you can do those placements, but also get the opportunity to work in the UK. As you can see, there are over 150 science and technology companies on this park, which has a very, very strong link to UEA. Now, I was hoping to share a video, but unfortunately I can't. So I highly recommend checking out the University of East Anglia Instagram, where there are some videos of some of the students at UEA doing their research within these companies and on Norwich Research Park. And then you can get an idea of what it's like to be a life sciences student at UEA. Next slide, please. Thank you. So, this is hopefully the video. I'm not sure whether we can play the video, Hugo, but if we can, that would be amazing. But here you have a list of the equipment that students might have access to once they start studying with us, whether that's at undergraduate or a postgraduate doing their PhD. So you can see we have nuclear magnetic resonance platform, things like bioimaging and structural imaging, X-rays, which hopefully we all know what X-rays are, stable isotopes, mass spectrometry, and then at the bottom there is the one that I was mentioning, those placements within hospitals, within companies, so that you can really get a hands-on experience. Okay.
Jessica, I think I cannot open the video, but if you want to share a video later, you can share it with your screen.
Awesome. No problem.
Go ahead, please.
So if we don't get the chance to share the video, look out for that thumbnail, and that's the video that you're looking for on the Instagram page. So moving on from life sciences now to NBS. What does NBS stand for? That is Norwich Business School. So this is the business department at the University of East Anglia. So if we can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So NBS is one of the fastest growing business schools in the UK. There are over 10 accreditations. And if you don't know what an accreditation is, that is where a professional group, a professional body, will approve of the courses taught at a university. So ACCA, AMBA, and CIMA, which are all business or management associations, have seen our courses and said, yep, we approve of this course. We believe that this is a high quality course. So we have over 10 of those just at the business school. You'll have access to things like our fintech lab, our all of the software that you need. You can see in the photo there, one of our students working away in the fintech lab. But also you'll have access to over 200 businesses based on campus. So again, during your studies, you are able to grow your employability and grow your experience working with one of the many businesses that are based either on campus or very near to campus. Now, something I'd like to mention is part of our international year one. I'll talk about this slightly later in the slideshow about what an international year one is. But this is the business school is where most of our international year ones sit. And we have a fantastic thing called ICAS. As a student who's watching, you don't need to understand everything about ICAS just yet. But something to remember is if you see ICAS, it means that your visa process will be much easier because you only have to apply for one visa for your entire study. So keep an eye out for that ICAS symbol. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So computing and engineering. We all know that computing is growing really, really quickly, especially in areas like cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, in data science. All of these areas, computing is growing very, very quickly. So if we can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So why, again, does UEA stand out? So here's that word, accreditations again. So these are coming from the Energy Institute, from mechanical engineering and electrical engineering associations. So they have looked at our courses and gone, yep, we are happy that they meet our standards. Productivity East is a state-of-the-art facility based on campus, and it's also a regional hub for engineering and technology. So again, it's that opportunity to get involved with people who are working in those fields. You're working with professionals, you're working with academics, you're networking, building those connections so that when you graduate, you have a really strong opportunity to find a really good job once you graduate and potentially be able to stay in the UK if that's what you want. So this is how you will get connected with those leaders in computing and engineering. And we also offer things like the opportunity to go to sites. So this is for both computing and for engineering. And when we say sites, what we mean is taking you to working facilities in computing and engineering. For those of you who don't know very much about Norwich, Norwich is a real hub for renewable energy. So we have lots of wind turbines, hydroelectric energy, solar energy, and we work with those companies so that if you're doing energy engineering or you want to get into renewable energy computing, we can then take you to those sites, you can explore, you can learn more, and most importantly, you can then connect with those companies. Next slide, please. So those are three of our main schools that you've just seen. We teach a wide variety of subjects at the University of East Anglia. A couple that we haven't mentioned here are things like education, social sciences like history, fine art, You've got things like filmmaking and TV production. So if you're interested in any of those courses, please do head to the website. But if you would like to find out more, get in touch with Hugo or your relevant contact, and they will be able to put you in touch with myself and with the university, and we would love to have a chat with you. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. Next slide again. Thank you. Sorry, so that's another video, and you can actually find that one on YouTube. If you look for University of East Anglia on YouTube, you can see that as the first pinned video. And that video is a really nice introduction to what is Norwich. Where is Norwich? What is the vibe of that place? Norwich is... I'll tell a little story. I had never visited Norwich before I started my job. I was not particularly familiar with it. It's not the most famous place in the UK. However, it is a very special part of the UK. I have now moved to Norwich. I do not see myself leaving Norwich ever. I absolutely love it there. My sister has moved to Norwich. She loves it there. My parents have now said when they retire, they wish to move to Norwich. They absolutely love it. It has everything that they need. And I have numerous people who have moved over to the UK from various countries in the world, moved to Norwich and said, when I first moved here, it was like I didn't really know if I would stay. Now I cannot see myself living anywhere else. So you'll just have to trust me when I say it's a very, very special place to live. It's very different to other major cities. So if you have been to London or you know much about London or Manchester or Birmingham, they're very busy, very bustling cities. There's lots going on, which is amazing, but there's not much opportunity for rest, relaxation, for quiet. If you like to have a bit more of a relaxed, laid-back life, have a nap in the afternoon, go out for a walk in the evening, Norwich could be really, really special for you. It's got a real mix of busy city centre and also real historical roots. You can see the cathedral there on the right-hand side, which is absolutely beautiful. It's the real centre of Norwich. And then around that, you have things like the street market, which is now just all international street food, amazing, delicious, super high energy. You have the markets and the lanes where you can just go and explore. It really is a nice mix. And then around Norwich, you have the Broads, which are the sort of rivers that you can see, and loads of green open space and coastline. So you've got the beach, you have the countryside, and then you have the water as well. It really is everything in one small place. Next slide, please. Thank you. But what about at night? What actually is there to do in Norwich? It's good to say we have everything, but realistically, what is there to do? So you have amazing nightlife, which can either be in Norwich city centre at places like the Theatre Royal or at some of the bigger bars, or on campus at the university, you have the LCR, which is the concert venue and the sort of main social venue of the university. You have world food stores where you can get access to everything that you miss from home. We promise you don't have to pack a suitcase just full of food. We will have a lot of the things that you miss from home. And then you have just amazing food in Norwich. It's not the stereotypical English food that is very beige. You really do have access to everything. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So what about the International Study Centre? So some of you may be unsure about what that means. So you have the University of East Anglia, which is the main university. This is where you study your degree. That's typically 3 years of study, depending on what you take. If you take an integrated master's, it's 4 years, but most other degrees is a 3-year degree. I work at the International Study Centre as part of UEA, and this is where we will teach you things like foundation programmes and International Year 1. So if you can't access the University of East Anglia straight away, let's say you finish high school in Bolivia and you don't quite have the grades or the qualifications to go to university, you come to the study centre, we teach you for 1 year, and then you can go over to the university. So these are some of the pieces of feedback we had at our centre, which is where you would be studying for the first year of your time in the UK. Students are very satisfied with the support services, the learning experience, and overall their time at the centre. So hopefully that gives you a bit of confidence about coming to Norwich. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. And next slide after that. Thank you. So some of you on the call today may not be paying for your study yourself. So maybe this is one you take a picture of and you send to your mum and your dad or your grandparents. But I know that there will be some people on the call who are paying for their study, or there may be some parents on the call. So this is how much it costs to study at the International Study Centre. Something I have to make very clear is that the prices between the International Study Centre and the university may be slightly different. So please go onto the university website and check their fees at the same time to make sure that it meets with your budget. At the International Study Centre, we teach International Foundation from around £18,000. That covers pretty much everything. Okay, so it covers your teaching, your books, pretty much everything is covered within that. International Year 1, which is the first year of your degree, is from £21,500. So foundation, if you are unable to access the university. International Year 1 is really good if maybe your English is not high enough, or maybe you completed high school but your grades were not so good. International Year 1 is a really good option. And then if you have already completed your study in Bolivia but you want to do your master's, you might benefit from a pre-master's degree as well. Now, we offer some very good scholarships. Now, these are based on your academic achievement, and these can be up to £3,000. So that can bring your cost of study down quite considerably. And something to note about Norwich is that it's slightly lower cost of living. So if you're looking at studying in London or Manchester or Newcastle or at Birmingham, Norwich might actually be cheaper for accommodation, for food, for transport, and then you can also be getting a £3,000 scholarship. Once you go to the University of East Anglia, because you have been a UEA International Study Centre student, you are eligible for up to £5,000 when you go to the university. This is done automatically. You don't have to apply. There's no limited number. You will automatically get up to £5,000 when you start your degree. And that's every year of study. So you could get a total of £18,000 of discounts for your pathway. So that's up to £3,000, and then up to 3 years of £5,000 as well. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So what can you study at the University of East Anglia International Study Centre? So we talked a little bit earlier about the different schools at University of East Anglia, and these are the courses that can help you get to those programmes. So the foundation degrees you can take are in business, economics and data. You can do computing, engineering and science, life sciences, health sciences and pharmacy. and media, social sciences, and law. So you can see there are a huge range of courses that are available to you as students. You can access pretty much every course at the University of East Anglia. For International Year 1, you can take business management and economics, media, film and television production, or psychology. And if you take an International Year 1, you graduate at the same time as the students in the UK. So you're only taking a 3-year degree. There's no additional year for you. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So let's say you've decided you want to come and live in Norwich, you want to study with us. Congratulations, you have your offer. You're now looking at where do you live. One of the options that you have is living on campus at the International Study Centre. So we have our teaching building, which is where you have all of your classes. It's where we have our cafe. It's where we have our social spaces. And then next to that, we have our accommodation. So if you are like me when I was at university, you would have a class at 9 a.m. and you would wake up at 8:55. You would wake up with maybe 5 minutes to get ready. Here, that is not a problem because your class is 5 minutes away. It's so close. It's in the same building. So it's a super convenient option. In this accommodation, you have your bedroom and your own bathroom. So you don't have to share your bedroom and you don't have to share your bathroom. What you do share is your kitchen, but here you have your own space in the fridge, you have your own cupboard space, and there's plenty of room for everyone to cook and eat and hang out. Throughout the year, you'll have movie nights, you'll have holiday sessions. In just a couple of weeks, we have our Easter competition, we have our Easter events. So we're giving away Easter eggs, we're doing crafting. So there's lots going on throughout the year to help you make friends and to help you get settled in. Next slide, please. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. That was just a brief introduction to UEA International Study Centre. I hope that's given you a little bit of a flavour of what Norwich is like, but we would be more than happy to take any questions you have. Just to reiterate, if you want to learn more about the University of East Anglia, about the International Study Centre, or about any of the courses that you have seen today, please do get in touch with your contact at Global Studies UK, get in touch with any of the team, and they can then let us know, and we can have a call or we can arrange a visit, and we'd be more than happy to help you with your journey to studying in the UK.
Yes, Jessica. Thank you for your presentation. As you said, global studies data to contact us is in the screen. You can contact us using the WhatsApp number or the email address that you have in the screen. And as for your free guidance session, we will help you to apply to the university. And Jessica, please, we have a question. This is regarding the intakes. Which are the intakes that are available for the university, please?
Of course. So the next available intakes we have one coming up in May time, we have one coming up in June, and we have one in September. So May is probably not going to be as important to anybody on this call. That's mostly for if you're doing study abroad or if you want to study English very short term. June and September are going to be very important. We offer all of our courses for these intakes. If you have a slightly lower English level, maybe your IELTS score is a little lower, you want to come for the June intake. So you have your regular study plus some extra English support. If your IELTS is absolutely fine and meets the requirements, you come in September, and that doesn't have the extra English support, so you just do the academic study. So depending on where your English level is, you may choose to study in June, or you may be okay joining us in September.
Thank you, Jessica. And please, other question is about what advantages can offer us East Anglia University in terms of cost of living, safety. What can you tell us about that, please?
Of course. So Norwich in general, compared to the rest of the UK, is a very safe place to live. Like I mentioned before, my sister lives in Norwich and I go in there every day to work, and we both feel very safe in Norwich. You can walk around, you don't really have to worry about any major crimes. And a lot of students choose to live in the city centre actually because it is quite a safe place to be. Of course, you still have to be sensible. Use your common sense. Don't walk around with your phone in your hand. Somebody can just steal it or have your money out. But in general, compared to the rest of the UK, it's very safe. Now, in terms of cost of living, if you choose to live in Norwich, you would be looking at cheaper than compared to those major cities, like I mentioned. For me, to compare, my sort of cost of living, for a weekly grocery shop for one person, you can do it in maybe £30 if you're cooking at home. To go out to a restaurant for dinner, maybe £15 to £20, to have, a big meal and some drinks as well. If you are getting the bus, if you're traveling into the city centre, maybe £2 to get from the university into the centre of the city. And then if you want to get the train to London for a day of sightseeing, that's going to be maybe £30 because it's about an hour and 45 on the train. So that should give you a bit of information about how much it costs to live. Probably most important is how much is a coffee. Depending on what coffee you drink, maybe a latte or a cappuccino you can get for £3, £3.50.
Thank you, Jessica. What can you advise the students that are applying from abroad? We will tell them that it is good to start the process as soon as possible, yes. What can you advise those students, please?
Of course. So I have been working in international for, 4 or 5 years now. Lots of things have changed. My advice is always the same. Be prepared. Make sure you are prepared. Have your documents ready. Make sure that you're prepared very early. I trust that, your agent or your counsellor will also say the same thing. You have to be prepared. But especially now, when visas take longer or you're having to book your travel more in advance, definitely be prepared. But another piece of advice is when you get there, wherever you're studying, this doesn't just apply to UEA and to Norwich, wherever you decide to study, get involved. Say yes to opportunities. I studied in Spain when I was at university, and for the first few weeks I was very nervous, didn't want to really put myself out there. But eventually you start to say yes to, we're going on a trip to this other city. You say yes, you start to make friends. We're going to go out for dinner, or there's an event at your accommodation, or there's an event at the university. Get involved with these things, and then it becomes very easy. You start to make friends, you start to improve your language skills, and you start to really enjoy yourself. So definitely get involved with any opportunities you get.
Thank you, Jessica. I think those are all the questions we have right now. And please, to everybody who is interested in study with East Anglia University, contact Global Studies. As Jessica said, we are ready. We can explain you about all the process. We will do it with you, and we will help you with all the application process. You have here our email address, our WhatsApp number, and don't forget to follow us in our social media as Global Studies UK. If you want to apply, contact us as soon as possible, and we will help you with all the application process. And we already that we know that Jessica will be helping us during your process, and if you have some questions. Jessica, thank you. Thank you for explaining all the important details regarding East Anglia University's courses and the different opportunities that you have shown us. Students can apply for scholarships, and we really want to help them to start their studies at East Anglia University. And thank you, everybody,
Of course,
to
thank
all
you
the
so much for
students.
having me.
Thank you, Jessica. Really, thank you. And thank you to all the students that want to apply to East Anglia University and that were with us today. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, everybody. And I hope we will be together soon. Again, don't forget, apply today and contact Global Studies. Bye, everybody. Bye, Jessica.
Bye.